Hello, welcome to Circulus. In this video, we will review how an approver can approve an invoice, raise an inquiry, or reject a non-PO based invoice. I've went ahead and logged into Circulus as an approver. As you can see, the approver has 8 invoices ready for approval. Keep in mind that an invoice is assigned to an approver based on your company's GL coding and approval processes. I'm going to start with this first invoice and show you how easy it is to navigate and work your way through the rest. At the top of the invoice screen, you'll see some navigation options. To go back to the list of invoices, select Document List at the top left. Or to navigate through the different invoices in the list, you can use the Previous and Next action buttons located at the top right, as well as at the bottom of the page for your convenience. The data is broken down into 2 sections, the header fields and the GL section, which we'll come back to. You'll also see 4 tiles to the right. The top tile opens up the invoice image submitted by the vendor and available for your reference when needed. The second tile is for inquiry notes and rejecting invoices, which we will cover later in this video. The third paperclip tile allows you to upload and view any supporting attachments or informational notes linked to an invoice. The last icon takes you to the Audit Trail, which allows you to see the history of any and all actions taken and changes made to this invoice, along with who did it and when. Please note that all these tiles are dockable, so if you're working on multiple screens, you can easily move any or all tiles to another screen, size them to your liking, and adjust them however you like to make it more efficient to see all of the data at the same time. And to make it more convenient as you navigate through invoices, the data on all the tiles automatically update to reflect those of the current invoice you're on. Now, let's go back to the invoice header and GL sections. The header fields have all been reviewed already, and since the user's current role is to approve this invoice, all of these header fields are in read-only mode and are not editable. However, if something looks incorrect or questionable, you can use the inquiry notes functionality to ask another user a question or to reject the invoice. You'll notice a status bar under the header details. The total amount you see represents the amount you are assigned to approve. Circulus does not allow approvers to approve an amount that is over or under what has been assigned to them. As an approver, you'll have the ability to approve the invoice if everything looks right and no changes are needed, raise an inquiry note, or reject the invoice. Now, let's go over these options in detail. Let's say you've looked over the invoice's header data and distributions, and it all looks good. That means you can go ahead and approve the invoice by selecting Submit and Next, which will either send the invoice off for the next level of approval or will be staged for export to get interfaced with your ERP. Once the invoice is approved, Circulus will automatically take you to the next invoice needing your approval. Let's cover how to raise an inquiry note. You can do this at any point in the process by selecting the second tile. Here, you can create and assign inquiry notes regarding the invoice to any of the users in Circulus or respond to an inquiry assigned to you. It makes it easy to communicate while you're viewing the invoice. And lastly, let's say you've looked through the invoice and noticed that the wrong distribution has been assigned to you. You then want to reject the invoice back to the AP department to fix and resubmit for approval. To reject this invoice, navigate back to the Notes tile and click on the Reject tab. Here, you can either choose a reject reason from the drop-down or type in a reject note. Then select the incorrect GL code from the drop-down list, which will have all of the GL codes assigned to you for the invoice you are working on. As you can see, on this specific invoice, there is only one assigned GL code which you have to select. Then select Reject, which will automatically route it to AP. I hope you have a better understanding of how to navigate, approve, and reject a non-PO based invoice as an approver. Thank you.